Today we'll be discussing about how to interface a DC motor with LPC1768. You know already the LPC1768 is your ARM microcontroller, that is embedded controller. So first we'll discuss brief about the working principle of DC motor. DC motor is an electrical motor which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. And what are the parts? The parts are stator, armature, rotor, and commutator with brushes. In a motor having brushes. In a brushless motors, there will not be any brushes related on this commutator. Opposite polarity between the two magnetic field inside the motor will cause the motor to run. And the simplest type of motor used will be in household appliances, in electric razors or electric windows in cars. These are certain simple examples of the applications where the DC motors are used. The basic principle, working principle of DC motor is whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences a mechanical force. And these DC motors, first type widely used in powered from existing a direct current lighting power distribution system. And the speed of the DC motor can be controlled over a wide range using either a variable supply voltage or by changing the strength of a current in the windings of the motor. Let me play some video related to the DC motor operation. Just it is a 3 minutes video only to recall the operation of DC motor. Now the video is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Let me, it's just a 4 minutes video. Please concentrate what are the parts, how it works, everything is clearly shown in this video. Just to recall whatever you learned in basic electrical theory.
You can find DC motors in many portable home appliances, automobiles, and types of industrial equipment. In this video, we will logically understand the operation and construction of a commercial DC motor. Let's first start with the simplest DC motor possible. It looks like this. The stator provides a constant magnetic field, and the armature, which is the rotating part, is a simple coil. The armature is connected to a DC power source through a pair of commutator rings. When the current flows through the coil, an electromagnetic force is induced on it according to the Lorentz law, so the coil will start to rotate. You will notice that as the coil rotates, the commutator rings connect with the power source of opposite polarity. As a result, on the left side of the coil, the electricity will always flow away, and on the right side, electricity will always flow towards. This ensures that the torque action is also in the same direction throughout the motion, so the coil will continue rotating. But if you observe the torque action on the coil closely, you will notice that when the coil is nearly perpendicular to the magnetic flux, the torque action nears zero. As a result, there will be irregular motion of the rotor if you run such a DC motor. Here is the trick to overcoming this problem. Add one more loop to the rotor with a separate commutator pair for it. In this arrangement, when the first loop is in the vertical position, the second loop will be connected to the power source. So a motive force is always present in the system. Moreover, the more such loops, the smoother will be the motor rotation. In a practical motor, the armature loops are fitted inside slots of highly permeable steel layers. This will enhance magnetic flux interaction. Spring-loaded commutator brushes help to maintain contact with the power source. A permanent magnet stator pole is used only for very small DC motors. Most often, an electromagnet is used. The field coil of the electromagnet is powered from the same DC source. The field coils can be connected to the rotor windings in two different ways: parallel or series. The result is two different kinds of DC motor constructions: a shunt and a series motor. The series wound motor has good starting torque, but its speed drops drastically with the load. The shunt motor has a low starting torque, but it is able to run almost at a constant speed, irrespective of the load acting on the motor. Unlike the other electrical machines, DC motors exhibit a unique characteristic: the production of back EMF. A rotating loop in magnetic field will produce an EMF according to the principle of electromagnetic induction. The case of rotating armature loops is also the same. An internal EMF will be induced that opposes the applied input voltage. The back EMF reduces armature current by a large amount. Back EMF is proportional to the speed of the rotor. At the starting of the motor, back EMF is too low, thus the armature current becomes too high, leading to the burnout of the rotor. Thus, a proper starting mechanism that controls the applied input voltage is necessary in large DC motors. One of the interesting variations of the DC motor is a universal motor, which is capable to run under both AC and DC power sources. To know more about it, please check the next.
Yeah, we have come back to the PPT. This was just a simple video about the basic principle operation of a motor. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are talking about the working principle of the motor. Just we saw a simple video that giving us a simple information about the motor operation. And these small DC motors are used in tools, in toys, or any other appliances. As given the universal motor can also run with a direct current. There will be light-weighted brush motors that are used in the portable power tools or any other appliances. Whereas the larger DC motors are used in propulsion of electrical vehicles, elevators, hoist, or any drives in a steel rolling mills. So these are the certain applications of lightweight DC motors and the larger DC motors. Now, do you think, I just put one question to you. Anyone can answer, not all at a time. Do you think we can connect the DC motor directly to the LPC 1768?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Why? Yeah, answer is correct. We cannot connect a DC motor directly to the LPC 1768. We need a driver ICs. Why we need a driver IC? DC motors cannot be connected directly to LPC 1768 because the maximum current of microcontroller output is typically 10 to 20 milliamps. The current rating is very less, 10 to 20 milliamps, which is not enough to drive the motor coils. So that's why, whereas the requirement of a current for the DC motor will be around 50 to 100 milliamps in order to rotate the motor. So this increase, the enhancement and increase in the current will be provided by the driver ICs. Okay. So in order to provide the required current rating to the motor coil to make it to run, we need to use the driver ICs. Drivers are not used only for motors, but it also used for any device that usually draws more than 50 to 100 milliamps of current. And another thing, if you connect the motor directly to the microcontroller GPIO pins, it will damage the microcontroller output transistors, which will be present at the output GPIO pins. These transistors will be damaged. So these are the precautions has to be taken while connecting a DC motor to the LPC1768. We cannot connect directly. We need a driver, and that driver is L293D. It is a motor driver IC. This L293D is a typical motor driver IC which allows DC motor to drive on both the direction, clockwise and counterclockwise. This IC is 16-pin IC. This IC is 16-pin IC that can control set of 2 DC motors simultaneously in any direction. But in our program, we are using only one motor. But using one IC, one driver IC, we can control 2 DC motors simultaneously in any direction. I can make one motor to rotate in clockwise, whereas in the other motor, the second motor can be rotated in a counterclockwise. Now, using this motor driver IC, 2 DC motors are controlled. It is called as dual H-bridge motor driver integrated IC. It works on a H-bridge concept. What is this H-bridge concept? H-bridge is a circuit which allows the voltage to be flown in either direction, and this voltage is need to change the direction for being able to rotate the motor either in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. A same amount of current is thrown in both the direction in order to make the motor to rotate in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. This slide gives you the layout, the pin diagram of L293D IC. This IC is 16-pin IC. Please concentrate here. The pin number 1 is called as enable 1, 2. 2 is input. 3 is output. 4 and 5 are ground. 6 is output 2. 7 is input 2. Pin number 8 is VCC 2. Pin number 9 is enable. Pin numbers 3 and 4. 10 is input 3. 11 is output 3. 12 and 13 are ground pins. 14 is output 4. 15 is input 4. And 16 is VCC 1. Here on the right side, we can connect the one motor. On the left side, we can connect the another motor. What are the features of this IC? This IC is used to run 2 DC motors. The speed and direction control is possible with a single IC. The motor voltage, the VC2 will be 4.5 volts to 36 volts, whereas this is the motor voltage where we are providing on VC2. VC2 is the pin number 8. This is the voltage that will be supplied to the motor. It will be around 4.5 to 36 volt depending upon what type of motor we are using. Maximum peak motor current for with this IC will be 1.2 amps. Maximum continuous motor current will be 600 milliamps. This much of high current can be provided using this driver IC. The supply voltage will be given to the VCC1, that will be 4.5 volts to 7 volts. Transition time will be around 300 nanoseconds at 5 volts and at 24 volts. and there will be an automatic thermal shutdown. If any raise in the temperature, the IC will take care of stopping the motor in order to protect it. And it is available in 16-bit DIP, TS-SOSOP and SOIC packages, and whatever the diagram you have seen, it is the DIP package, dual inline package. Now, so this is the diagram. It gives a clear picture where the motor will be connected. On your ARM LPC 1768 microcontroller board, on your ARM controller board, there will be 2 pins will be available. To that 2 pin, we have to connect the motor externally, and those 2 pins are nothing but pin number 3 and pin number 6, which are coming out from the L293D IC. And this IC is already hardwired on the board, and all these connections are being hardwired. You can see here pin number 1 is enable pin. Pin number 2 and 7 are the input 1 and input 2 respectively. And these are the 2 pins we have to remember what the logic values we have to give it on these 2 pins and how the motor can be controlled. Between pin number 3 and 6, motor is connected. 4 and 5 is grounded. Pin number 8 is given to a plus volts of supply. So we are using only this part of the IC where only one motor is connected. I'll repeat it once again. Only one motor is connected between pin number 3 and 6. Pin number 2 and 7 is called as input 1 and input 2 respectively. And we have to control the logic values on these inputs in order to control the motor operation. And also we have to control the logic level on this enable input. You know very well what is the enable pin. If this pin is held at the proper logic level, your entire IC will be enabled for the operation. Now, so far we have analyzed the L293D. In that L293D, we have to do only 2 connections. The motor has to be connected between the pin number 3 and the pin number 6. Whereas the another 2 pins we need to concentrate. It is input 1 and input 2. Nothing but pin number 2 of L293D and pin number 7 of L293D. Now please, it is already hardwired on the board. Please listen here. The input 1, that is pin 2 of L293D, is connected to the port 428 GPIO pin. So it is called as, it is connected to port 4.28. That means port 428 pin is connected to the input 1 of L293D. Similarly, input 2, that is a pin number 7 of L293D, is connected to the port 4 29th pin, 29th GPIO, general purpose IO pin. Now enable pin of L293D, here we are using pin number 1 and it is connected to the port 2 8th pin, port 2 8th pin. And DC motor is connected between pin number 3 and pin number 4 of L293D. Now, the table gives you the what are the logic levels we have to maintain on these pins in order to control the motor operation. So motor selection, only one motor we are using, that is called as motor 1. And this motor can be operated either clockwise, counterclockwise. We can make the motor to stop and we can make the motor in ideal condition, and also we have to enable it. So what are the logic levels on the pins? These are the LPC 1768 port numbers. Port number 4, 28th pin, and port number 4, 29th pin. If the value on this pin is 1 and 0, that is 28th pin is 1 and 29th is 0. Another way, you reverse it also, it is 0, 1. If you take it 0, 1, because 29th comes first and the 28th comes next on the GPIO pin slots. So it is 0, 1. If you make the logic levels on this pin as a 0, 1, motor rotates in counterclockwise. If you make the logic levels as 1, 0, pin number 29 of port 4 is 1 and pin number 28 of port 4 is 0, your motor rotates in a counterclockwise direction. If you make both the pins high, your motor stops. If the motor is under running condition, it stops. If you give 0, 0, it will be an ideal, no operation is carried out. So these are the 4 mode of operation. The another pin of interest is pin number 8 of port 2. In order to enable this driver L293 IC, you have to make this pin high, then only the motor will be enabled. IC is enabled, the motor starts operating. Even though you give all these conditions, and if you keep this as a 0, your motor will not work. In order to enable the driver IC, it is compulsory that port 2 8th pin should be 1. Is there any doubt?
And what is W?
I could not hear you properly.
Ma'am, what is CCW?
CCW, counterclockwise direction.
No, what is IDEL?
I'm not getting.
IDEL, DC motor IDEL 00.
Ideal condition. Ideal condition. Ideal, nothing to do, no operation.
Got it, ma'am.
Any doubt? Is there any doubt from anyone? Shall I continue? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I continue?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, one more thing was what is TSSOP and SSIP
Those
in
are the
one?
different, no, you search it on Google, those are the different types of IC layouts. In a DIP, we'll get the dual inline. Okay. On two
Okay.
sides of the IC, you'll get the pins. Like the different configurations, it is available, but we are using the DIP configuration.
Okay, ma'am.
Shall I move to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, please concentrate. Here I'm explaining about the port 4 and port 2, GPIO ports of LPC 1768 that have been used in this program for interfacing DC motor with the LPC 1768. So we are using only 2 ports, port 4 and port 2. First, I'll explain the port 4. You are well aware of that. These GPIO ports are 32-bit wide. That means they consist of totally 32 GPIO pins. So in port 4, we have total 32 GPIO pins, calling from 0, 1 up to 30, 31. But we are considering only 2 pins, that is the 28th pin and 29th pin. Why? To this pin, these are the 2 pins to which input 1 and input 2 of my L293D driver IC pins are connected. Okay. So we are concentrating only 2 GPIO pins, pin number 28, 29 of port 4. Now, what are the logic levels, are the values that we have to send on these pins? What are the voltage levels in terms of logic levels? We call it as 11, 10, 01 like that. So what are the values we have to send on these GPIO pins, pin number 28 and 29, in order to control the motor operation? So already explained in the previous slide. If 28, 29, it is 1, both are 1, 1, motor stops. If 28 is 0 and 29 is 1 minute. Yeah, 28 is 1, 29 is 0. 28 is 1, 29 is 0. it will be motor rotates in clockwise. Then what are these? 3 7 zeros, 2 7 zeros, or 1 7 zeros. Please concentrate on this pin or the GPIO layout. If I substitute the value of this 28th pin as 1 and 29th pin as 1, what are these 4 bits? It is 0011. 0011 means 3. All remaining GPIO pin value will be 000. So this is the value that I have to send on some of the registers in order to configure this port so that your motor will stop. If I make 28 pin as 1 and 29 pin, sorry, here I think little bit variation here. 28 pin is 0 and 29 pin is 1. So that is 2, 0, 0, 1, 0. Just substitute this 1 0 value into these blocks 1 0. So it will be 0 0 1 0 means 2 and all remaining are zeros. So this is a value 2 7 zeros that I have to send through some commands such that my this port will make the values of these pin as a 1 0 and motor rotates in clockwise. Similarly, if I make 29 as 0 and 28 as 1, these are the value that I have to put into this position. So what is the total value of these 4 bits? 0 0 0 1. So that's why it is 1. All remaining are zeros. I'm considering that as 0 0 0 0. And this is a value I have to send through some command to port 4 in order to configure this pin so that your motor will rotate in counterclockwise direction. Understood? Now, about port 2. Port 2 is also GPIO port 2 is also 32-bit GPIO port having total 32 GPIO pins starting from 0 to 31. But we are considering only the 8th pin. Can you make out? I have put some arrow here. My cursor is moving here. I'm considering only the 8th pin because to this 8th pin, L293 driver IC enable pin is hardwired. It is connected already. So what should be the bit value here? The value should be 1. The value of this GPIO pin should be 1. So you consider all these zeros and 1. What is the value here that I have to send on the as a form of command? 0 0 0 0 1. Can you see here these 4? These 4 is nothing but 1. These are 0 0 which is to the right side, and these are the 5 zeros towards the left side. So this is the data that we need to send through some of the commands to the port 2 in order to enable this bit. Yeah, we'll move on to the program. Is everyone having your manual with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Don't copy anything. I'll be sending all this recorded video on Savi as well as the link will be shared to you. Okay, concentrate. So we'll move on to the program. This is a DC motor interfacing with LPC 1768 program. First, as you know already, we have to include the header file of the particular ARM microcontroller. So we'll use the command #include LPC 17xx.h. Then we'll define one variable called as key_pin. This is the name of the variable which always points to this command in this program. This variable key_pin is the name of the variable and we are defining here, and it always points to what command? LPC_GPIO1 FIO pin. So wherever I use the key_pin in my program, it always will be pointing to this command, LPC_GPIO01 FIO pin. What is FIO pin command? FIO pin command is used to read the status of the GPIO pin or write, both. It can be used for read or write. So we are using here for a reading purpose. FIOPin is the command used to read the status of the pin. Now, see, when I want to control the motor, I need an interface, an human interface. So here I'm using the keys which is present on our LPC 1768 board. So I'm using totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 keys are used for a user interface. So I'll be defining them as key underscore stop. This is the name of the key. Which key? 14th key. Usually on our board, all the keys are connected to the port 1 and they are named as P1.14, P1.15, P1.16, P1.17, P1.18, 19, 21. So totally there are 8 keys are there. Out of 8 keys, I'm using only 5 keys. So I'm defining a name to that key. Which key? Port 1, 14th key. This key will be named as key underscore stop. That means if I want to stop my motor, I have to use this key. Then another key, key underscore INC. Which key? Port number 1, 15th pin, which is designated to the key number, second key of on your board. So the key is connected to the port 1, 15th pin. So I'm designating that as an key for increment operation. That's why I'm labeling it as key underscore INC. Another key I will define here, naming as key underscore DEC for decrement operation. Which key I'm designating? Port 1, 16th pin. This port 1, 16th pin is connected to the, which one? Key, third key on your board. Similarly, another key I will be defining here as a key underscore CW, which is designated to the port 1, 17th pin to which the key 4th is connected. Similarly, another key is defined here, key underscore CCW, which is the port 1.18. Why we are calling this name with this particular fashion? Because in order to remember what operation that key will perform if you use that key or if you press that key. You cannot, if you want to name with some other designation, not an issue, but it will not be a clear picture. So please define the key with the what function it performs. If I press this key, which is the 15th, which is designated as a port 1.15, if I press this key, your motor will increase its speed. If I press this key, which is designated as a P1.16, 16, if I press this key, the motor speed will decrease. Based on the operation performed, I'm naming them, I'm defining them. Now, so next to what we have here, where my cursor is, this cursor is moving, this is the delay program. Void delay, unsigned, an integer, we are defining it as a count. So our operation purely depends upon your count value, and the value of the count will be defining in our main program. Then I'm using the two variables j and I, which is of unsigned integer type, and both the initial value I'm keeping it as 0, 0. And here the delay loop will be 2 loop, one inside the other. Here the jth loop will be outside loop, whereas the I loop will be inside loop. So for j is equal to 0, increase the j till the value is less than count. When j is 0, this operation taking place inside, the I value will be increased from 0 to 119999 for every step. Once this I value completes 0 to 1999, then j value incremented by 1 like this. This complete delay loop will be designed in such a way that the two loops are there. The jth loop will be outer loop and the I loop will be inner loop. So which is the parameter used for the delay is the count value. The count value will define the total delay that is going to be generated. Now, the next line will give you the system initialization. We are using the void system initialization, system init void. Then this is your main program. In the main program, we are defining the two variables called as a count and the match. Count is unsigned integer of 8-bit. 8-bit wide of this counter variable is how many bit? 8-bit, and its initial value is 0. Another variable we are using, that is a match, whose value we are setting it as a 5. You may ask, why madam, why we have to keep it as a 5? When you execute the program practically in the lab, we can check if you vary this value, what happens to the operation. Starting, I'll explain with a 5. You can change this value during the practical implementation. Now please concentrate. In your manual, there is another one line has been printed. Please remove this. That's why I made it as a red. You are not going to type this. We are not using this further. This is a little bit modification we have done in our program. Is it clear? Please don't use this. We are not using any direction parameters or any direction variable. Understood? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the purpose of match variable there?
Match variable will allow us to vary the speed from one well-defined initial low level to high level. I'll explain that. As we go inside the program, I'll explain. Okay? Why we need to match? Why we need to use the values? See, initial value should be matched with the low value as well as the high value in order to control the speed of the motor. It is used to control the speed of the motor. Okay. Now, coming to the next command, we are using the command LPC_GPIO4. We are using which port? Port number 4. That's why I'm using the command GPIO4. FIODIR. What is FIODIR? Fast Input Output Direction command. Now, here we are sending this value. Already explained why we are sending this value. We are making both pin number 28 and 29 of port 4 as 1-1. We are setting the direction. My dear students, please concentrate. We are setting the direction. We are not sending the value. We are setting the direction of this GPIO pin. Why we have to set? These are the pins which are connected to the input pins of L293DIC. So these pins should be act as an output pins. So that's why we have to connect, we have to configure the direction of these pins as an output pins. That's why we are sending a value 1-1 on these pins. That means 3. Actual data it's sending will be, I explained already, it's 3. But what is the command using? Direction. So we are setting the direction. If the GPIO pin is 1, it will be acting as an output pin. If it is 0, it will be acting as input. But we want to make it as an output. So we are using the command FIODIR with a value 370. Now, similarly, another command we are using LPC_GPIO2 port 2 FIODIR. Please concentrate here. 1 double less than 8. 1 double less than 8. So we are concentrating on the GPIO port 2 pin number 8. And we are sending the value as 1. If you send the value on 1 with a direction command, then this pin, port 2 8th pin will be configured as output pin. Please, the command is the one which makes the pin to act. We are using the direction command. So we are making this pin as an output pin. Now, I'm using another command LPC_GPIO2 FIOCLR. This FIOCLR is the clear command which will send the value on the particular pin and makes that pin as a low. If you make the enable pin low, your L293D is not enabled. You may ask, why madam you have not enabled here? Here we are making that enable pin low so that your L293 driver IC is not enabled. In the next program, we are enabling wherever we need, whenever we need it, by sending the command, proper command. Whenever we need it to enable the L293D driver IC, we will enable it. So starting after converting this pin as an output pin, we are sending the value as low so that your enable pin of L293D is low and your IC, driver IC is not enabled. So what is the command we are using to send the low value? FIO clear. This is so far about the port 4 and port 2 configuration. Now please coming to the keys that we need to use as a user interface. So we are using how many keys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys we are using. And these keys are to be set as inputs. These key pins has to be set as input pins because these pins should read the values. So that's why. So we are using the command LPC underscore GPIO1 Y1. All the keys are connected to the port 1 on our board. Now, so what are the keys? Key underscore stop, increment, decrement. Anyone here? Can you see here the bar? It indicates 0. We are sending here at a 0 value. So what happens when the direction of these values? You may ask where we have sent 1. You may ask where we have sent 1. Please go back. Can you see here? Key underscore stop 1 double less than 14. We are making that pin already high by sending this 1 here. But we don't want this 1 here. This is only selection process. We can control the values by sending the proper command wherever in our program. So what are we doing here? Can you see here? A not symbol. So what happens? 1, not 1. Not 1 means what? It is 0. So all the keys are given a low value with the FIO dir command, making these keys to configure as input pins. So whatever the pins which these keys are directing, those pins are now acting as input pins. Now here sending the values now. LPC underscore GPIO1 FIO set. See, we have to set the values. Why? You can ask why. Because if I press this key, stop key, what is the value that our the intelligent device should read? It should read it as a 1, no? So that value we are setting is with a FIO set. If you press key stop, it will take FIO set this command and the key value will be made it as high. This is the value that I'm sending on that input pin. So when I press the key, the status of this input pin will be 1. Similarly, wherever I use these commands, that particular pin will be having the value as high. Yeah, now actual program. I'm using a while loop. Please concentrate here. Where this cursor is moving, this is the subprogram. Here totally 4 subprograms will be there. One for to stop the motor, another to make the motor to run in a clockwise. Next is counterclockwise. Totally 5 subprograms will be there to increment and decrement. Okay, one by one I'll explain. If I want to make my motor to stop, thinking that already it is running. Don't say, madam, you have not at all made the motor to run, how you are stopping. Assuming that the motor is under running condition, if I want to stop the motor, I need to press the key which is designated with a variable key underscore stop. That means key 1, which is connected to the port 1, 14th pin, which is already hardwired on our board. If I press this key, that value will be taken as a 1 and simultaneously it should be read by the LPC1768 using the command called variable key underscore pin. See, instead of writing the command, I am writing here a variable which is already designated to one command. What is that command? Let me go back. What is the command designated to this variable? Key underscore pin is the command, is designated to the command LPC underscore GPIO1 FIO pin. This is the command to read the status of the input pin. So come back. When I press the key, the value has to be read. Both has to take place simultaneously. If both are true, that's why I'm using and here. Both are true. Why I'm using the exclamatory mark? Because I want to take it as a input pin. I'm making it as both are high. 1 and 1 is 0. It is 1. Here, exclamatory mark will make it as a 0. Make the entire data to be whatever the key I press, that data will be taken, read by the microcontroller. Once this data is read, what I need to do? I need to stop the motor. In order to stop the motor, what is the data I need to send? This is the data I need to send on the port 4 pin number 28 and 29 with the command LPC underscore GPIO FIO pin. FIO pin also will send the data. It is not only to read, also to write the data. FIO pin is a command which will write the data 11 on pin number 28 and 29 of port 4. Is it sufficient to stop the motor? No. You have to enable your IC also. No doubt it is already enabled. When it is running, it is enabled. But still, we need to use this command, which will enable. What is the command? LPC GPIO02 for the second port, FIO pin. What is the data I'm sending? I'm sending the data 0000100. What is the one it does represent here? This is the one represent the port 2, 8th pin is high, which enables your driver IC, indirectly enabling the motor. So this is the program to stop the motor. This is a program to stop the motor. Now, how to make the motor to run in a clockwise direction? In order to make the motor to run in a clockwise direction, I need to press the key designated as or defined as key underscore clockwise. If I press this key, definitely a data will be, a value, a signal will be generated. That signal should be read by the LPC 1768 using the variable called as key underscore pin, which will be designating to the one of the command already explained. If both happen simultaneously, both are occurring simultaneously in a real time, then only your motor will start running. If and if only if you send this data on the particular port 4 pin number 28 and pin number 29. In order to make the motor to run in clockwise direction, I need to send the data 2 7 zeros with the command LPC underscore GPIO4 FIO pin. FIO pin is used to write this data on the particular pin of the port 4. It is, what is a 2? 2 is 1 0. If I make the pin number 29 1 and 28 0, that is 1 0, nothing but 2. Your motor starts rotating in clockwise direction if and only if your driver is enabled. That can be done only if LPC underscore GPIO2 is enabled with the command FIO pin with a value 1 sending on the pin number 8 of port 2. If this happens, then only the motor starts rotating in clockwise direction. We are coming to the next sub part. Is this part is there in your manual? Yeah, please
No,
write it
ma'am.
down. It is some human error. Excuse us. This is a human error that could not see before giving by the printing. Please excuse us. Please write this part. I'll give 1 minute time. I think it is sufficient. Is it over?
Ma'am, I had one doubt in this.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, here, like we have the IC in between the motor and the kit, like the processor, na, ma'am.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
but here we have GPIO 4 being given the value first, and then we change the enable pin of the IC. So,
Yeah, before enabling the pin, activating the enable pin, make sure that your driver IC inputs are having the proper voltage levels.
oh, okay, got it.
Otherwise, it will take the pull-up values. Either it is connected to the pull-up values or a pull-down levels.
Yes, ma'am, got it.
So which value we want to send, that value should be shared, which should be sent to that port 4 pins.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubt? Shall I go with the next subprogram of this program?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, this is the subprogram which will allow us to make our rotate our motor in a counterclockwise direction. So which key I need to use? I need to use the key which is designated as a key underscore CCW. If I press this key, the data has to be read by the LPC 1768, and it is possible only with this variable which is pointing to one of the command. If both occur simultaneously, if I press the key and if that value is read, then only I can make the motor to rotate in counterclockwise direction, and the value given is 0 because of the explanatory mark. The signal level value is 0 here because of this explanatory mark. We want to make it as an input pin. Now, when I press this key, what is the value, that data I need to send on port 4? I have to make the pin number 29 as a 0 and 28 as a 1. So ultimately the total value will be 7 zeros. I need to send this value on the port 4 with the command LPC underscore GPIO4 FIO pin, which writes this value on the port, and motor can start rotate if it is enabled with a proper enable pin, and that is possible with the command LPC underscore GPIO2 FIO pin 0000100. This one here will make the pin number 28 of port 2 high, enabling the driver, indirectly enabling the motor to rotate in counterclockwise direction. Now, see, these are some subprograms where I can control the speed of the motor, which is already rotating either in counterclockwise or a clockwise direction. Just assume that your motor is rotating in counterclockwise direction or clockwise direction. If I want to increase the speed of the motor in either of the direction, I need to press the key that is designated as or defined as key underscore increment. If I press this key, this data will be read by LPC 1768 with a variable key underscore pin, which will be pointing to the one of the command that I already explained. If this happens simultaneously, your motor which is running in any of the direction, the speed will be increased. Now here the match variable comes into the picture. What is the match value that we have defined at the starting? It is 5. Now with the 5, the match value will be compared with 100. If it is less than 100, the match value will start increasing. This is only to limit the maximum speed to certain value. If you vary this 100, make it as a 50, speed will be less. That's all, nothing more. Speed, that is the maximum speed that we are getting here. Once the match value is here 5, it is compared with 100. If it is less than 100, the match value will be incremented from 5. From 5, it is incremented. It is incremented from 5, and your motor starts increasing its speed in which mode it is rotating But the one thing you need to remember, you keep on press that key. This is an user interface that we have provided here. We have to keep on pressing the key designated as key underscore increment, then only the motor speed increase. If you leave that key, ultimately the motor will be running with the standard speed. You cannot observe the increment in the speed of the motor. That's why this while loop is written. This while loop is written in order to control the operation. If you are keep on pressing the increment key, it will be, the status of the key will be red continuously. And if this happens, the motor speed will be incremented till it becomes the match value becomes 99. Understood? If you, during this process, if you remove the key from this, if you remove your finger from this key, your motor comes to a standard normal speed. Now coming to the next one. This here, this is a program we are using to decrement the motor speed. What is the key we are using? Key underscore decrement. And if you press this key, whatever the data will be generated, that will be read by a variable called as key underscore pin, which is pointed to one of the command I already explained. If both happen simultaneously, then you can decrease the speed of the motor. Once again, the match value comes into the picture. What is the match value here? Match is greater than or equal to 10. If it is match is greater than or equal to 10. Madam, you may ask, what is the match value? Match value is fixed as a 5. Whether 5 is greater than or equal to 10. No. This match, so you have to change the value there. Our standard value, match value, you have to analyze. If the match value is greater than or equal to 10, keep on decrease the match value by 1. Is it clear? So what happens? Your motor speed decreases only if you keep on press that key. That's why we have written this while loop. If you remove the finger from the decrement key, ultimately what happens? Motor starts rotating in any of the direction in a normal speed. Now in this operation, you can make out that when you keep on pressing this decrement key, you can find out that at one point your motor comes to a stop condition and once again starts from normal speed. From normal speed to 0, once again go back to the normal speed to 0. This is the operation we can observe using this program. Now, this is the delay program which is applicable for incrementing the motor speed or decrementing the motor speed. Now, here the delay of 10. 10 is the value of your count that we have defined starting. Go back to the delay program. Can you see here? Count. The count value we are keeping here 10. Is it clear? If I value varies from 0 to 11,999, then J value will vary from 0. Once again, J value up to 9. So your total loop value, count value will be 0 to 9. That means total 10. Now, if the delay value, count value is 10, the goes on, increase the count value. Then if the count value greater than or equal to match value, this is to control the speed. If both the value become same, we are stopping the motor by unenabling with the enable pin of the your L293 DIC. So that's why the command is sent as LPC underscore GPIO to FIO clear. We are clearing the port to pin number 8. When you send the low signal on this pin, your driver IC will be disabled. Ultimately, motor stops. Otherwise, if this condition is not met, then there is a value 1 will be sent on the GPIO to 8th pin, enabling the driver IC. And this is carried out if count is greater than 10. What happens if the count is greater than 10? Ultimately, we want to bring back the count value 0 to have the control over the motor speed. This is all about the entire program. Anyone having doubt? In the program?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the decrement subprogram again, ma'am?
Okay. Yeah. Here we are using the decrement key to make the motor speed to reduce. When I press this key, which is defined as key underscore decrement, whatever the data generated after pressing the key will be read by the variable key underscore pin, which is designated to one of the command. Only because of that command only your LPC is able to read the data. After that, you are getting the difficulty here. What is the match value? Match value will be taken automatically by the your LPC 1768 in a normal speed. What is the match value in a normal speed? If that is the match value is greater than or equal to 10, I think you have to change this value. We'll find out while doing the practical. We will change this value and see whether it is working or not. Okay. If the match value, I think here it should be given as a 1 because match value fixed as a 5. If the 5 is greater than or equal to 1, then match value should decrease. Once it becomes 1, it should stop the rotation. And all this happens only if you keep on pressing the decrement key. Understood? I think I should change this value to 1. We'll check out when we do the interfacing in practical session.
And the next if condition also, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, count is one variable, the match is another variable. Both the values are compared in order to see that your motor will not exceed the standard high speed, which is designated for the particular motor. So we are using the two variable, count and the match. And I'm fixing the count value as 10. Maximum count value is 10. So starting what we are doing here in the delay program, we are making the J is equal to 0, no? J is equal to 0. So J value is 0. So 0 is less than count. So your delay program starts. Okay. Why we need to provide the delay? Because we cannot provide directly the voltage values to the what I can see the armatures of the motor suddenly, because there will be your hardwares are slower than the software. Your motor is slow compared to the LPC 1768. So that's why we need to provide a delay. So we are using here a count. See, this clear is only with the match. What about this? If the count value is greater than the match value, your LPC, sorry, L293D IC driver IC will be enabled continuously using this command. If the count value is greater than match, then only it stops the motor to by disabling the your driver IC. If the count value is less than the match value, your driver IC will enable the motor to run using this command LPC _ GPIO to FIO set. It is setting the pin number 8 of port 2, which is connected to the enable pin of the driver IC. Ultimately, the driver is enabled, motor is also starts rotating. But we are putting another condition. The count should not go more than 10. If the count value is more than 10, we are making the count value 0, controlling the maximum speed of the motor.